Welcome back. And for those of you who are just now joining, let me tell you, Kendra gave some great information about taxes during this time of tax season and getting stressed out and really trying to understand how do we move forward and the importance of your businesses, etc. So if you missed it, I encourage you to go back and listen to it. But Kendra, as we talk about that and we move forward, I want to be able to step up a little bit.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of times as a business, we want to scale, we want to get bigger. So, right, a person may start as a solopreneur, then, there's one or two people that they're subcontracting with, but now they really want to scale their business. What are the key financial considerations when scaling a business that you should look at?
Slow and steady wins the race. No, seriously. I literally have that situation going on right now with two clients, right? So slow and steady wins the race. There's no rush. First of all, you have to make sure that you have financial stability. And what I mean by financial stability, make sure that your business is financially secure. If you're paying payroll, make sure that you have enough, like you do with your personal finances. You want to make sure that you have up to 6 months in business income as well, in case something goes haywire with the next steps. So when you think of scaling your business, there's many other options. That could be going out seeking funding. It could be adding partnerships. It could be just transitioning into a different stage. But in scaling your business, you want to make sure that you have the backing to handle that,
Mhm.
right? Because it's going to be more employees, more individuals that you have to be accountable for without losing the customer service and the feel of your product or service.
I think what you just said is the key. We can't lose the value add we've already given because our customers have come to know it. So if we scale so much that we're not able to do that extra, white glove service and to give, customers are like, wait a minute, I should move on. I should go somewhere else, right? Because they've been spoiled. It's kind of like you spoil somebody, you spoil a child, they come back and they want some more. Our customers are the same way. They become to expect that as we continue to move forward. And I think you would agree that when you're talking about scaling a business and you're looking at your workflow from end to end, you may have to scale a piece at a time of that workflow and not everything at once. So
Mm.
you can take small bites, right? I'm going to do a partnership over this piece, but that's it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to do something over here with this piece, but gradually do it. I like how you said slow is great,
Yeah.
steady pace, but slow. We're thinking about that. How do you balance investing in your growth that you want to do and maintaining your financial stability?
Wow, that's a huge one. Well, you also have to take in consideration the time, and I'll give you a short, quick example. During the pandemic, I wrote a little book with my daughter. And actually, it started from me explaining to her what was going on in the world. I had to put a pause on it, not because it wasn't a great book. Everyone just didn't like the pandemic. They didn't want to hear about it. So that would have been an example of something that would flop. So I say that to say that even when you're scaling your business, you have to be aware of what's going on everywhere. You have to kind of play every angle. I had a client, we were looking over software and they wanted to charge all these different fees. And I said, did you look at the economy? Disposable income. So, getting back to your question, I think when a business owner is ready to scale and they don't want to trip, they have to do it in stages and they have to do it in tests. Like you said, move a proportion. Well, maybe I'm going to try it here. I always say you have to have that safety net. And if you're unable to have that safety net, then that's when you have to get a line of credit but you have to have that. And most importantly, payroll. You have to make sure that you're covering. No, seriously, because I see a lot of business, that have dissolved. The partners get, a little selfish and they forget about the individuals that help along the way. And, I say the universe rewards you well when you treat people well.
Agreed. That is so true. Karma is something, right? But
That's
I want to expand on something you said because When we think about investing in growth, and then you talked about thinking about what's around you. Okay, so the economy may be changing.
Mhm.
How is the perception in your mind of a business for value when you are discounting or you're charging lower fees because of the market versus what the value is that you're truly bringing to uplift or to help someone solve their pain? Because we're in business to solve pains. That's
That's
what
right.
we do.
Yeah.
Somebody has a pain, somebody doesn't want to do it. That's what we're there to solve. So, how do you balance that from your perspective, so that as you're advising your clients for
Right.
growth, that we're not telling them, yes, the market doesn't have any money and lower your prices to $1 versus keeping your prices where they are, but diversifying your expectations. I'd love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, so with this specific client, what I had said was, I don't think that you should change your price structure, but you should offer a discount, right? Because if disposable income changes, then you have to really think of the mind of the consumer. And if your product is not a necessity, going back to Maslow, rule of order, then you have to be creative in how you discount it, but not lowering your price. So you would say 2025 year discount, and it's a discount to get individuals in, and then it's the wording. I think that when we think of the economy, it's not, I didn't mean it to like say, oh no, no, don't, because risk is what is going to grasp, and it's changing your brand. Even with
Mhm.
the uh-ohs, when we first came out, it was about the pandemic, and then I said, wow, we bring the joys to the messiness of life. So you can rebrand, and restructure. So it's okay, but you have to be cognitive of everything around you.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I love the fact that, and that's why I asked the question, because I wanted to bring more of that out, because I truly believe that that is the case as we begin to think about it. I also think, I'll tell you, I have a personal thing. I don't ever call a discount because I'm not discounting my value. I always say I'm doing an investment, right? So if it's a 25%, that I'm going to, reduce that price. I always say in 2025, I got 25% investment in you. And what was a $500 value is now, a $425 value or whatever. Because I think that, to your point, wording matters.
Mhm.
And if we start thinking about devaluing, a discount says, oh, I'm getting it for cheap. But guess what? My value is not cheap.
Right.
So my value not being cheap means that I need to use language that says, wait a minute, I understand the economy is this way, and I'm going to do more investment in you, but that does not discredit the value that I have and what I would, charge. So being able to say it's the value of this is $1,000, put an X through it, but my investment for you is X,
Wow.
right? So
Wow.
that you can be able to do it. So I just wanted to drop that, because that's something that, as a business coach, when I do it, that I'm really cognizant, and I want listeners to know words matter, how you market matters, and to your point, when you get ready to rebrand, how you speak to your customers matter. So
Oh, I love that.
absolutely.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. I love that.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this. What strategies have you seen work for businesses that are really wanting to expand without overextending themselves? So, how would you guide a company out there on their strategies to use?
Right. First, I always ask, why are you here? You know, I, the reason you're here, why are you doing this? If it's to make money, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to earn money. you know, but I think that if you're here to solve a problem, if you're here to make the lives of individuals better, then you're going to be able to withstand. I think that, having a business plan, going by that plan, having your financials, projecting those financials, looking at different scenarios. I think that if you're taking your brand from A and you're like, you know what, I want to introduce, say, a new product, or I want to introduce a new service, you have to be able to have the foundation, or the backing, in case A, it doesn't grow as much, B, it does grow, or C, it totally flops. So I think you have to have that strategy. And what does that strategy look like? Having a business plan, running the financials, scenarios. I can't say that enough. Running the scenarios. That's why you want to get you that a boring accountant that's listening to classical music. So they can help you. And I don't got nothing better else to do than to run scenarios for you. Like, seriously.
Okay, so can I dial your number and get you to do my scenarios? You bring up such an important point as we begin to talk about, doing this with scenarios because, you think that, okay, I'm going to be really, really optimistic. I'm going to sell this amount. I'm going to do this and I'm going to make all this money. And then I'm going to go and do this. And you're so excited about what you're doing that you're hyped. And then somebody comes in and busts your bubble and says, but what if that doesn't happen? What are you talking about? It's going to happen. I've already manifested. I already said that's what I'm going to do. What do you mean it's not going to happen? Of course it's going to happen. So I think that you're bringing up a great point in terms of looking at risk, looking at what you can do, looking at if this occurs, what's my plan? It's kind of like I tell, even with some of my leadership clients that I talk to, that I'm coaching, is that you have to always plan. What if I lose my job? What is my plan? I remember when I was no longer working, I said, I'm a teach, I'm going to consult, and I'm going to get on paid boards. That was my strategy. When I wasn't working, what did I do? I went to teach, I did projects because it's so important to have that alternative plan. Kendra, I have thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining us on Ignite today. This has been a phenomenal conversation.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Okay, we're going to be right back. And when we come back, we have another guest to share with you. And I think you're going to be just as excited. See you in just a moment.